Welcome to the Carlson Collective, episode 2, where conscious living meets real conversation. I'm Logan Carlson,
I'm Kristen Carlson.
and we are here to explore the full spectrum of a intentional life, from the depths of spirituality to higher consciousness to the practical worlds of fitness, biohacking, marriage, and everything in between. So, welcome. How are you doing today, baby?
Oh my gosh. I'm great. Do you know what today is?
What is today?
Today is 313 Day.
Which is?
This is the celebration of everything Detroit. This is our day as a city.
Yeah, so I think for those that don't know, like Detroit celebrates, this is like their day for businesses, restaurants, events. It's everything going on, right? Which it's kind of crazy being crazy windstorms right now. I wonder what people are actually doing downtown, but it's going to be interesting. But just to give some significance to it, the 313 was Detroit's original area code. It was assigned, I believe, in like October of 1940s, 1947, and it was one of the original 86 area codes of North America. So it became significant because they chose March 13th as the date, so 313. So using
Mhm.
Detroit's area code and that, so they basically celebrate Detroit's pride, food, culture, history, everything in between,
Sports.
sports. So it's definitely going to be an interesting thing. But we are wanting to talk about one of the things with any marriage in our relationship is we really strive to do more adventurous things,
Mhm.
not doing the same day old day things. We still love our TV and our basic habits that we do, especially like reading
Our
and things,
hermit time.
our hermit time. But you have to break out of that. Everybody's going to get stir crazy. I think after COVID, that kind of really shifted everything for most
It
people.
did.
And so for us, it's always going into, for your work specifically with Little
Mm.
Saints, Mrs. Vino, we're always downtown, always doing something.
Always.
And I think it's gotten way more popularity, but the stigma behind Detroit has been, I think, much better now than it used to be, because
Oh, it's way better.
I like some of my family, they're like, oh, we don't want to go to Detroit, it's not safe, and
You know,
that's
they
the
live out in Fowlerville,
yeah.
so it's like a whole nother world for them. That's why I'm always trying to convince them to come out, because I'm in Detroit, my gosh, at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Mhm.
You know, especially visiting all my different restaurant clients, whether there's new restaurant openings, new places to go and visit all of you have the DSO, you have concerts, you have Detroit sports. I mean, our sports teams are doing fantastic. I remember, I'm dating myself a little bit, but like 20 years ago when I was in college, that's when they were in their heyday. At least the Pistons were. It was Chauncey Billups and Ben Wallace uh and all of those guys. But now I think we're there. Everybody's paying attention to Detroit, and there's been a lot of news articles globally recognizing Detroit as one of the best cities to go visit
Mhm.
that people don't normally go visit
Very
in
much.
America.
Yeah, and I think for me, and I will say, like, my parents started going down more often, and they love it now. They've opened up to that. My brother loves it. I mean, I've taken him a few times down there, but
Mhm.
it's one of those things where there's a lot of pride that's taken into the city and what it is and what people want to show there. The pride of the food, the culture, everything. I mean, being Motown with the music, I mean, we love Motown
Yeah.
classics.
Ooh,
So
Martha Reeves.
Martha Reeves, Four Tops, you
Mhm.
can't beat any of those. So
Aretha.
um, yeah, we actually just got a record.
Aaliyah.
Was it the record? Yeah, it was a bunch of Motown classes we got for the record.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
we have an old record player that we like to listen to music to while we're reading or chilling in the house. So adds a little bit more tactile sound to
Yes, it
things.
does. It's more texture.
Yep. But what we want to do is just talk about some of the places that we've gone down. Why, if you haven't gone to Detroit in a while, or if you're not sure where to go, these are the places to hit up.
Ooh.
So
Hit me up, everyone. So on Google, I'm considered a quote local guide because I have like 14 million views or something crazy. I don't know. I don't look at the numbers. I mainly go on there to post pictures of all of my clients' bars and their restaurants. Yes, the food that I'm eating, but just expressing their culinary creation and also their cocktail creation. So whether it's non-alcoholic or an alcoholic cocktail, I just like taking all those pictures, showing it. It's readily available. It's free advertising for them. Um, so yeah, do you want to tap into? Because I could talk for hours about everywhere that I go in Detroit, but maybe some of our shared like adventures that we normally didn't really get into until I got into the beverage world.
Well, we were just down there for your Little Saints had a non-alcoholic bartending contest, so at the standby,
Yeah.
which is like a modern bar restaurant. It's very tiny, but it's right off. What was the street? The artist street that's right next to it. Do you remember what it was called? No,
It's
well,
the alleyway where the Skip is, Moot's
Moots.
Pizzeria,
Yep,
and that's Matty Matheson's. That's one of his
yep,
restaurants.
yep. He basically he had one of his I think signature items on that menu. I think, or does he own it, or does he
I think he's involved with it.
involved with it?
Like
Okay,
he's one of like the main owners. But Liz, so shout out to Liz over at the standby. She's the GM and Marquez. So Marquez was our winner for the bartending
yep,
contest for Little Saints. So everybody, all I had eight bartenders.
8. Yep.
Yeah, 8 bartenders mixing up non-alcoholic cocktails from Detroit. So it was great. There was a fun time. That was a really
Well,
cool event.
it was cool too because the NA space is blowing up. I mean,
Yeah,
if people don't know, the last 3 years, the alcohol industry has lost somewhere between like $840 billion in revenue.
billion with a B.
Yep, and
Uh-huh.
people are maybe going to weed or other things, whatever. But alcohol is definitely down, and more so.
Psychedelics, baby.
Well, that's definitely part of our standard. But it's a lot of people now are getting into the NA space because it's a social aspect. So people want to have something to drink, but you don't want to get messed up, and it's all the biohacking that's being pushed right now. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very interesting to see. So I think when we were there, the thing that blew me away was all the different drinks that they made and how good they were. Like you would never know you're having an NA.
Yeah, the complexity, like Connery from the Royce, he came up with that really awesome drink. It was like he had orgeat, he had some turmeric root in there, and it didn't like the color didn't look the prettiest, but it was
So good.
so layered
Yep.
with complexity. It reminded me of like a wine.
Hmm.
There was just layers upon layers upon layers of complexity. Like you get your first sip on the front of your tongue, and then there's like a mid palate, and then there was like a back palate.
It reminded me of being like tropical, like something
Yeah.
like on the beach that
And
you'd be
we needed
drinking.
that because it was so cold. It was
Oh
literally in the
God, it was
single digits
freezing.
and teens. And that's why we didn't have a lot of
Literally.
people come out. But it's all right because we're going to be doing a lot more of those bartending competitions in Detroit now that the weather is getting warmer. And the individuals who did come, they had a great time.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was like negative. It was
It
cold.
was
So I
so
don't
cold.
blame. And a lot of Detroiters, they like to the walk to their
Walk,
places.
yeah.
So it makes sense.
I had like 55 RSVPs and there was like 15 that showed up.
Yep. But that's
It's
all right.
okay.
But like I said, standby, a really cool location.
Mm-hmm. That's another one you like.
Well, one of the first places we went to years ago was the London Chop House, which is a classic downtown.
Yes.
It's been there since it was like the heyday. It was the 50s, 60s. That was the place where all the
Mhm.
celebrities, anybody that was anybody, basically
It was
went
all
to.
the businessmen and all of the there was a lot of some of the
Crime.
mafia. Yeah, the crime bosses, the mafia. They'd hang out there and Cliff Bell's.
Cliff Bell's, yep.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a great time. Like I said, the food there. We went up to they had a cigar lounge up top. So
Yep.
I had a whiskey and a cigar, and you had, I think, just a glass of wine up there. And
Yeah, I had a stogie too.
you did, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, because I like my Fuentes, my Arturo Fuentes.
Arturo Fuentes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting. So I think between those two and then
Oh, that's better. Yeah, put that light on him. We don't need to show my wrinkles. Thanks, Jamie.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're right.
Yeah, no, London Chop House, and that's when I brought in the Andre Coulee Chalky
Oh my gosh.
from Fine Wine Source.
Yeah,
It's
Fine
the
Wine.
only place you can get it in Michigan too.
Yeah, we gotta have her plug in there for him.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Jimmy. I love you.
Jimmy's the best. If you need good wine,
Fine Wine Source, Livonia. Mm-hmm.
He's never what's the cab, was it the cab that, or not the cab?
Oh, your Mary Edwards.
Oh my gosh.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Can't buy. I don't know why I'm even talking about it, but
$55 Sauvignon Blanc.
it's so good. It's I don't drink a lot, but that I would have glasses after
Yeah.
glass of that one.
Well,
So
speaking of, really good wine, wine bars in Detroit too. So I actually just went to, for the first time, I know people are gonna be like, you haven't gone there and you're Mrs. Vino. I went to Shannon for the first time to have a business meeting for the One Girl Revolution charity that I was a part of, and then the bartender who was making some non-alcoholic cocktails. So it's Nick owns it. It's 14 seats at a bar, and that's it. And he has a really small menu. It's mainly like a focaccia bread that he makes, pasta that he has, and everything is right there. So the bar's right there, and then he turns around and there's like his hot plates and stuff where he's making everything.
Really?
So
Okay.
Shannon, his wine list is incredible, and he makes his own non-alcoholic wine. And I kid you not, I don't want to swear on this podcast, but holy shit, it was the best non-alcoholic red wine. Because I'm always trying to find non-alcoholic
It's
wines,
hard, yeah.
and for the reds, they never taste good.
Yeah.
His, I don't know what his secret is, but he does a great job over there.
Well, I think with any space that's, whether it's non-alcoholic or anything that's up and coming that's new, especially like health foods and supplements, there's always
Mhm.
going to be a window where things don't. I mean, you remember when we grew up early in the fitness world, protein bars, and there was like
yeah.
they were bricks that tasted
Oh
like
God, they
chalk.
tasted
They're
awful, but they hit our macros, and that's all we cared about.
But back then we didn't have any options. Like no one should complain today about like clean nutrition or even
Oh yeah,
just
no.
easy eating, because
Mm-mm.
the flavors that you get now are unlike anything else
No,
you ever had.
you're right. Yeah, as long as it met our macros and we had like a gallon of water to eat that brick with,
Your jaws were
your jaw was done. Yeah, I know the Quest bars. Oh my God.
So I think with the NAs and Little Space,
Little Saints,
or
you
Little
mean?
Saints and the NA space,
Yeah.
that it's blowing up, and Little Saints is doing phenomenally well, especially with the RTDs, which this is one of the new ones, which is the
Hugo Spritz. Yeah.
that guy right there.
I know that one's the best. Elderflower. So if you like Saint Germain, that's what this is reminiscent of. So it's very floral. It's really good.
Yeah, they're nailing their new RTD, especially that Megan brought back the old fashioned full time, which baffled me that she didn't have it full time beforehand. So I'm so much happier with that.
I know.
So
We've
if
got
you're looking for a good NA brand, Little Saints is the one to go to, and especially when it comes to St. Oak, St. Juniper, the
Yeah.
spirits, they're good to mix with. And
thanks for the plug, baby.
Well, I'm just saying it because because of you, I've tasted so many different NAs, and a lot of them are just bad.
They are bad, and there's no functionality.
No, and for these, they're very good for not only mixing, but then the RTDs are good just to drink. Like I said, I'll have these regularly. So
I know you
like
do.
that.
I know.
So
all right, where else? So where else, restaurant wise or like adventure wise, Detroit things that we've done? I like maybe talk about. Well, we haven't been to the car show in a while, but the North American International Auto Show.
Yeah, that's pretty common. I think most people.
It is.
It's pretty touristy, I think.
Well, I remember in January, like it was always in January, and then they moved it to the summertime, which I get it. It makes sense, but I liked it in January because there was nothing going on in January except that. And that was going on for, the North American International Auto Show, that would go on for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep.
So I remember when we went to that, I loved it. I always thought that was so cool to see all the new models coming out and technology and things like that. We are the Motor City.
Yeah, I grew up going to that a lot, but then being the camping family, we always went to the camp RV shows.
Oh yeah, you guys.
It's like you're like, once you look at it like 20 or 30 RVs, it's the same damn thing. So it's like it's pretty old. But my dad and my grandpa, and my brother would go with us, so we always had a lot of fun. But no, I was thinking when we just went down there with our friends Ahmed and Z, we went to the Highlands, and on top of the GM Center, which anybody hasn't gone there, it's literally at the top of the GM or near the top. I think
it's the 71st floor.
Yep. And they gave you basically a curated meal and
curated menu.
Yep.
Chef's menu.
And I think we didn't have the wine paired with it, did we? I don't remember.
No, I always get oh gosh, it's escaping me. I had on my wine list Charles something. I always get a glass of champagne, and then they have Little Saints there, so then I always get a non-alcoholic.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we had we had an NA there with Little Saints because you brought a bottle of, I think it was St. Oak.
No, they did St. Juniper. So Ginger Rose was the name of the cocktail.
That's what it was, yeah.
And Sue V. Kim, the bartender there, she created that cocktail, and we published it in our cocktail book. And
it was awesome.
Yeah, I know, it's really good. But yeah, Highlands, that's one of my favorite places to go, either for like I've gone there so many times by myself, just sit up at the bar.
Yep.
And I get like some appetizers and, just talk business with everyone there. And then, when all 4 of us went right before Christmas, it was before Christmas. It was December. Yeah, it was December. That was stunning to like sit down, enjoy the whole experience, be treated like a guest rather than a partner.
Yeah, you're not there for work.
I'm not there for work. Yeah, I actually got to sit and enjoy everything, which was cool.
So definitely one to check out. And it's definitely going to stay there because I know they're tearing down some of the old towers in GM Center, and then they're going to have the whole
Mhm.
waterfront district, which I'm very glad for. I think they need more of a space and park and all that stuff. It's going to do
They
very well.
do. They need more because that building, every time I would go in there to go visit everyone at Highlands, it would be completely dead, or it was just business conferences,
Yep.
or like middle school or high school tours. So I'm really excited to just hear and see more use of the land and the building, and just more access for people in the community. Like whether it's a Target or a shop that you can go, like a grocery store or something like that.
Mhm.
I think they started construction. I
Hope
heard a
so.
little, yeah, I heard through the grapevine. I'm not sure yet.
Well, definitely one, like I said, to check out. These are, and again, we're just going through ones that if you're not sure where to go, if you haven't gone downtown in a while, these are a sure way to have a good experience because we've never had a bad experience at any one of these places before.
Yeah. Yeah, let's name off a couple more. Okay, so like She Wolf, we love Chef Anthony
Yes.
Lombardo. He just opened up Medusa, so I got to eat there. Oh, me and Tania went.
Tina got lucky.
I know, I treated her. It was so great. So we went there, and then of course I love any heirloom hospitality. So like Prime and Proper, Mad Nice, they're always fun. I love going there. Ima Izakaya in Corktown. So in Corktown, there's so many cool places like Last Chance Saloon. It's kind of like a hole in the wall bar. Ima Izakaya used to be in Gold Cash Gold.
Is that where the Grand Trunk pub is?
No, Grand Trunk is right across from like Townhouse, right in downtown Detroit.
Oh,
We went, when did we?
I took you to Townhouse for your birthday.
Well, I remember we went to Townhouse,
Yep.
and then I remember I'm like, hey, I wanted to go and get a beer somewhere, and we went to the Trunk Pub because it's classic. That's iconic.
Yeah, I think it was just one of the days we went downtown. We were just walking around checking some places. We went to that little like train car station bar diner or whatever. Remember? It was a long time ago, but like I said, we hit a couple bars up. We did a couple things. It was just one of the
Yeah.
random days we decided to go down there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was before we moved to Plymouth. That's when we lived out in Salem, I think.
Yep.
Or maybe even when we were back out in Livingston County.
Somewhere out there.
Yeah. Now that we're closer, I mean, I'm down there. It's 25-minute drive. It's great.
Well, outside of that, so what was the other we went to it was the Hour Detroit. That was one thing.
The Best of Detroit
The
party.
Best of Detroit, yes.
Yeah, so that's always this will be our third year going, but this will be the first year that Little Saints is going to have a bar there. So we're going to have a non-alcoholic. We're the only non-alcoholic bar at Best of Detroit.
Oh, cool.
So that's always at the West End, but Cadillac. So that's going to be really, really fun. Logan and I have gone the past 2 years, and that's always super cool. Like I love Our Detroit Magazine and D Business, just keeping up with all of the new restaurants that are opening, all of the happenings that are going on in Detroit, whether it's the Hudson Building, whether there's new development happening. But yeah, Kate Walsh, the editor in chief over at Our, she does a great job with that magazine, and yeah, I'm excited that like we get to be a part of it this year because like we've just gone before, and we'll still just we get to attend and be guests, but we'll have our own
Your own
little
space.
spot. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think I love because you took me. We've gone twice now.
Yep.
2
This will
years.
be the third year.
Yep, and I love because you get to see all the different. There's a lot of local restaurants and some that are like outside of the suburbs in Detroit, and they bring little bite-sized dishes and there's drinks and stuff.
Mhm.
But you get to taste so many different flavors and cultures and cuisines,
Yeah.
and it's very cool to see. And it's on 2 different floors, and there's dancing. If you've never gone, it's worth the ticket. It really is, honestly. And the point I think with all of it is it doesn't have to be charities, but you should always be giving back. I
Mhm.
think that's one of the things that you've really honed in our relationship is trying to give more time and access to these type of events.
Mm.
And
Well, specifically charities.
yes,
So like talking about She Wolf and Medusa and Chef Anthony on Cork for a Cure.
Mhm.
On Cork for a Cure is my friend Flora, her foundation Dyname, which means strength in Greek, and on Cork for a Cure just had their 10th their 10th year last year, so this is going to be their 11th. And you and I started, I think the first time I went was with Chelane, and that was 2019, 19. But ever since then, every single year, you and I go, we volunteer. I sponsored with Little Saints last year. Last year, I also donated from Mrs. Vino a private curated 5-course dinner. And then, so Uncork for a Cure is a big one. That's one that you and I have been doing for years together, whether you're security or selling tickets, or thankfully we just got to enjoy this past year.
Yep, we got to be a partaker. Yeah.
We got to partake. We got to go on the racetrack.
Yeah, the M1 concourses. They've had it there the last 2 years.
3 or
Was it
4.
3 or 4?
Prior
Okay.
to that, it was at Jim Cali Ferrari,
Yep.
which is cool. But speaking of Flora, I'm actually, I don't know if I told you this, there's another event happening. It's like a women's focused event, and it's at the Audi and Porsche dealer. Oh my gosh, I can't remember where it is. Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up really quick. Wellness in Motion. So that's going to be May 3rd. So Wellness in Motion event at the Porsche and Audi in Rochester Hills.
Okay.
So I'll be a part of that for Little Saints. So that's going to be really cool. So any ladies who are going to be coming out to this, I'm really excited. I'll have a full lineup of non-alcoholic cocktails specifically for the event, and then of course the RTDs for Little Saints. So no sugar, no booze. You don't have to worry about calorie counting with us. Let's see, we did 2 other charities to give back last year. So Love for a Child.
Love for a Child, yep.
That was at Shinola.
It's a nonprofit serving like Michigan's foster care system, basically for foster carers, which is very important, honestly.
Yeah.
Giving back to the children.
And I reached out to Joe recently in an email, just letting him know that you and I were still interested in, whatever volunteer or sponsoring that we can do, because I know they're always looking for volunteers for their summer camp, and I think it's in like Ortonville area.
It's more that way
or something like that. So yeah, Love for a Child event, that was really fantastic. Again, there was some great chefs there who are always at Uncork for a Cure. So James was there from Maple Gray. I'm trying to think who else kind of stood out that was there. I feel like I see James everywhere.
He's almost at all the ones we go to.
I know he's everywhere. But that was a really good one that we did, and it's coming up again this fall. And then the other one that was kind of last minute that we went to with Michael was the Fisher House.
Yeah, the Fisher House, which is the veteran. That was I think it was overall. It was it basically provides free lodging for the families
while the veterans get medical help.
Yep. So they have full housing, food, everything they ever need. It's basically like a small village that they live in, and it's very expensive to not only do the surgeries and the procedures that need to do for the veterans, but the families, because you don't realize the burden that's put on them.
Yeah. Well, and you need your families there to help heal and support, not just healing physically, but mentally, you need that mental and emotional support. And if you have your family states away from you while you're trying to heal from, war wounds, I mean, that makes it even more difficult.
Yeah, PTSD and different things. I mean, I think they started in, was it 2020? They're fairly new. I think at least the foundation itself was. I can't remember.
Yeah, they're newer.
But they basically have like 13,400 square foot homes, wheelchair accessible. They're very cool. They're very cost free lodging basically, and so they don't have to pay a dime. Everything's so
it's a home away from home.
Yep. So when we go, they do the charity events where they do the auctions, and they sell package tickets for like experiences like safaris and things of that nature, and all that money goes towards these events. And
I thought my auction submissions was cool, and then there's like these travels to different countries. I'm like, oh.
If you want to go to Africa or something like that, you can do that.
I can at least give you some one-on-one attention, a beautiful 5-course meal that's curated very nicely by myself and cooked for you by my private chef.
Yeah, but I think those are the main ones. I mean, I loved, honestly, my favorite's Uncorked just because of what Flora does and everything. It's just, it's an amazing experience, and it's for
breast cancer.
But it's specifically, hold on, I can tell you.
Yeah, get the specific one right. Flora will be very proud of you. Yeah, because Uncork for a Cure, because Flora is a breast cancer survivor, and
it's for invasive lobular carcinoma.
Yep. Yeah, so it's a very specific, because there's so many different types of cancers that are out there, and that was one of like the rarest ones.
So it receives less than 1% of funding, but affects about 15% of patients that
Mhm.
have breast cancer type of cancers.
Mhm.
And so it's the not only affecting how it affected her and her family, but others. It's something that needs more attention. It's happening at a higher rate year over year, and they're just not getting the funding. They're getting more and more because of Uncorked for a Cure, but not enough of what they
Mhm.
need. So it's a huge event, and it's something that she started literally in just like a restaurant.
She started it with Luciano over
Lucian.
at Baco, and it was just a fundraising dinner.
Yep. And now it turned into there's
Hundreds.
hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds of people all at M1 Concourse
Yep.
because
So
they definitely outgrew the Cali Ferrari dealership.
oh yeah.
And then now it's even so big that now there's Uncorked up north. So
on Travers, yeah.
and that one we're doing. So I already have our motel booked. We're staying at Sierra Motel, and Sierra Motel is owned by a husband and wife who are friends with Flora. So we're gonna stay somewhere new and support them up there. So that's at the Haggerty Garage, and then that one is I think the week before the Uncork for a Cure that happens down here. So that'll be a really, really fun one. I'm excited to be a part of that one because, I used to work for Larry Mobby up there.
Well, I mean, that's near and dear to our hearts. And if anybody who's never lived in Michigan, or if you have, there's so much to see and do in the state. We have one of the most gorgeous states ever, but Travers is like our home. Every time we're up there, it feels like we belong. And it's not just because the vineyards and there's so many trails and beaches, but it has a energy to it that just I can't explain. And it's definitely our home away from home that we always go to.
I me, I love the woo woo. It's the 45th parallel, and it has the most fresh water on planet Earth. And for me, that's the most precious resource that we have.
Is water.
Another new charity that I'm helping out this year.
Please.
Really exciting. Children's Foundation of Michigan.
Yes.
So they're holding on May 2nd at Country Club of Detroit. They're holding it's their 10th annual. So this is their 10th year. So another decade celebration here at Country Club of Detroit for this fundraising event. And they're projecting to get around 350,000 raised in funds this year. So that's going to be really fun. So it's the 10th annual Derby for Kids at Country Club of Detroit, and that's May 2nd. And everything will wrap up, before the Derby starts. I think it's at like 6:57 p.m. The Derby always starts on that specific time. I don't know if we should have looked up why it starts at such an odd time, but that's always how they've started it. So it'll be exciting. So Little Saints will be their non-alcoholic sponsor. And if you haven't been to Country Club of Detroit, it is a private club. It's very historic, very, very beautiful. I mean, it smells of rich mahogany and leather books. It's incredible.
Well, and the reason why we're bringing this up in terms of like charity and really adventures is there's a doctor. His name's Dr. Brooks, and he talks about he's a Harvard professor. He does specifically like relationship researcher and things of that nature. And he has 4 practices that he always talks about for couples to improve their life and their marriage or just their relationship in general. One of them is just having more fun together and less grievance. Like going to therapy is just grievance. And it's not saying that therapy is bad, but you need to have adventures and fun together.
You do.
You're my best friend, so us going out and doing things together is very important. And
well, it's shared experiences. So not to like interrupt, but how somebody can witness the same event, but then when they recount it or retell it, it can be totally different. So I think with that's where you and I share in the adventure because we have our own views, and then I like to hear about your view.
Yeah,
so I get to experience it 2 times.
And for me, I get to just experience it. So I'm always happy because I grew up very not in that world. I mean, we did a lot of stuff as a family, but it was more of camping and hanging out with friends and family, and doing stuff like this with other people is just really cool. And I think it's very important because your marriage or your relationship with your partner has to be about, you're my best friend. We love spending time together. And I think as you grow and evolve in your relationship, we've been together almost 15 years, you have to do things that are fun and keep it fresh and exciting. So I think that's a
Yeah.
very big thing that's important. A second practice is you have to fuse the right hemispheres. How do you do that? That's through prayer, meditation.
Like the right hemisphere of my brain.
Yes,
Oh,
correct.
okay.
Because you're the praying and meditating actually synchronizes your right brain hemispheres together, so you're more aligned with processing emotion, connection, intuition. That's where all the right side of the brain hemisphere comes from.
But you and I already have like ESP, and we finish each other's sentences. I don't think I want any more connection.
Well, that's what's going to happen.
I'm just kidding. I love you.
You don't get a choice. Sorry.
Ah!
I think for most people, like if you've been in a long enough relationship, there's just things that come with it. It just is what it is. So, but it cannot just be that. It could be breath work. It can be
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of being present with each other and then going through gratitude. You're like for me, and we have our morning routines because I'm a big believer in priming of the morning. From Tony Robbins and setting up your day. And there's a lot of actually
Mm-hmm.
stoicism behind that about starting your day off strong to give the most of your day and not wasting your time. And you're priming your nervous system, your emotions, everything to be successful and to grow in some way, shape, or form.
And you've delved into that more on your Instagram,
Mhm.
which we have to post your Instagram handle. It's at Logan Carlson 92. And then you're on YouTube as The Conscious Gentleman.
Yeah, and the main thing, like I also have like LinkedIn where I do articles and stuff, and I like
Yes,
to
you're
write.
linked. Yeah, your LinkedIn is great. Your article. So anyone who's listening, check out Logan. Like he just said, priming his morning was one of his reels that he did on Instagram, and then he writes. I mean, you are such an eloquent writer. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Your articles that you come up with on LinkedIn. I share and repost everything. I'm your number one customer.
Yeah, number one customer.
Number one customer. I'm your cheerleader. I got my pom poms at home for you. No, but you do. So continuing on with that, you I needed to plug you.
Well, thank you. And I think
Welcome.
the other thing to point note is when I'm saying prayer, it doesn't have to be religious. It's a lot of like my prayer that I go through even for myself is going through the things that I'm grateful for, and that this life that I have is of gratitude and I have abundance and I'm not in lack. And I think that's setting up for those pathways to open and to be more accepting of gifts and things that come my way, and vice versa, giving as much as I can.
It's the positive mindset.
Yep.
It's having positivity and energy. Energy is real,
Well, and people need to separate, I think, spiritual and religion. I'm not against religion. I'm just saying that the spiritual connection creates like an emotional fusion between two people. And the more you do that, the more important it is. So, third practice, and this is more for the female or the wife in the relationship. For the man, it's making eye contact when talking. This is very important. Yes, looking directly at each other. Eye contact is critical. It's more so for women because women actually produce 3 times more oxytocin than men do. And eye contact releases that because you're getting paid attention to. You see to me, you see in me, you see about me, you're hearing me.
Wow, that's kind of reminiscent of our logo for some reason. Who's the genius who came up with that?
Some chick, I don't know.
Huh.
But it's also too, like, if you're talking to me and you're trying to tell me something that's very important to you, or very like you want my reaction. If I'm not giving you eye contact, if I'm looking at my phone or if I'm watching TV, you act like you don't care. And I think for a lot of us, there's a lot of distraction and a lot of things that are quick dopamine fixes.
Oh yeah.
Giving just the time to take things down and looking one-on-one at each other. So for men out there, if your woman's talking or you're talking to her, look her in the eye, give her eye contact. It's very, very important for
That's
her.
just how I was raised, though. I remember when I was dating in high school. Now, okay, yeah. So like in high school, now granted, again, dating myself a little bit here. I'm in my 4th decade of life. Anyways, so back in high school, there weren't smartphones. It was a Nokia, and you weren't allowed to use it except for when you were driving in the car. At least that's how my rules were growing up. And I just remember my dad always said, he's like, if you bring a boy, never a guy or a man, if you bring a boy over here, he better look me in the eye. So I remember I would have to tell my boyfriends, like, hey, make sure you look my dad in the eye. And they always had great eye contact anyways, because they were brought up well. So I never dated any, shifty eyed individuals until later on in life. That was my mistake. But so that's something that I think is just innate, at least in our generation.
It's more of an old school kind of thing. I mean, not old school, but
there's a psychology behind it
There's
too.
a psychology. If you're constantly looking away, looking down, you're there's something off. You're either trying to cover up something, you're not genuine about
You're
something.
not present.
That too, yeah.
Period.
So that I think is innate. But I mean, you're older than me, but at the same point, my phone in high school was a flip phone, and I, 3 buttons to hit one letter. Like I had the same. We actually had a.
So our thumbs are going to be screwed earlier than our little
No,
nephews.
I'll tell you, I got really good at that, honestly. But it was, I even had like I think like 500 texts a month, which was like that was receiving too. So like you hit your cap, you're like stop texting me. It's a different era, but it's very important. But like I said,
Mhm.
again, to be specific too, with like kind of the science behind it, the oxytocin that is released from the woman, it's about trust, it's about bonding, emotional safety. That
Mm.
women need to feel safe and protected. Everything else, like money has a place, and I guess your stature has kind of something to do with that, but eye contact signals that like you matter. I'm here. I'm listening. I see you for who you are. So without it, women feel unseen, and they feel disconnected. So I think just a simple, easy thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Practice number 4, and this is a more for the guys than it is for the women, but I think both benefit from this, is always be touching.
Mm-hmm. It's
ABT.
definitely for both.
Yeah, because it's especially like if for any guy out there that you're out with your woman and she wraps her arms into your arm, that feeling you get of like, oh, I'm the king of the castle, king of the castle. Like it's this thing that it's an emotional touch it's more neurologically significant for us than it is for women, but women have a benefit to it too.
Oh, big time. I want you constantly touching me or coming and kissing my cheek or grabbing my ass, or
for guys though, it's a lot of
I want it all.
You want it all and all now.
And I want it now.
A lot of guys, they feel that they're supporting, they're needed, that connection. Guys, I think, or men I should say, have one simple need, is we need to feel needed. That's the number one thing. You could give us all the praise in the world, the love and all that, but like if we feel that we are needed to provide or protect or whatever that may be,
that's the
sole thing we need.
Yeah, that's why I let the trash can get really full.
Of course. Yeah.
And the cans too.
Well, and that can go into another thing too. This is the thing that I think we've learned over our relationship, is that there is certain roles within that relationship that someone is stronger than the other. You are a much better cook than I am. I can cook chicken and rice and like bodybuilding food, but you are a chef.
Wait a minute, time out. You are a baker. You're the baker. Okay. You've got a sweet tooth. I'm more of the savory, pour me a glass of wine, let me cook and GTF out, out of the kitchen. And you're baking, even when you have your quote baking mishaps, they turn out incredible.
Yeah, I think I went to make like
cinnamon rolls.
It was cinnamon rolls, but they're supposed to be like sugar-free, gluten-free, something like that. And it was so cold in the house, I didn't let them rise enough, and they turned into like basically muffins. I was like, well, these are what they are now. And they ended up being really, really good for some reason. But yeah, for me, I like baking over what you do with cooking, like as a chef, is precise measurements. Like I like everything specific. This
I don't.
Off the cuff.
Yes.
That
intuitive.
Yeah, I'm not with that.
Oh yeah, I cook intuitively. It's my ancestral heritage in me.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, I think again, and leading into that, like I said, like I'm probably a better cleaner and I clean the house really well. Everyone has their role, and I don't think it's like this is the female role, this is the male role. It's just whatever you have strong suits where you gravitate towards. And that's just how I was raised. You pick up the roles to get the work done. That's
yeah, just get it done.
Yep.
Who's gonna do it?
Yep.
Who's gonna clean up Lucy's poo poo?
Oh, she's worth it though.
Me.
That was another thing. I was actually talking with my friend buddy Ahmed and Walid about this, where anybody that's ever owned a pet, especially a dog, the one thing I always take from that is that they are unconditionally loving.
Yes.
And it's like you could leave for 5 minutes, you come back, they're like, oh my God, I have so much stuff to show you. Where have you been? They're like they were gone forever.
Yeah.
And they're always, you could beat a dog and they would still love you. And I think there's something to that, where don't beat your dog, but it's if we could have that love with each other and that intimacy with each other to that level, I think we'd be a much better society, honestly, overall.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what, I tell people when I'm like, hey, we have a podcast. It's called the Carlson Collective. And people are like, what's it about? And I'm like, well, to be completely honest with you, it's an hour of carved out time, one-on-one with my husband, discussing topics where if somebody can glean some information or helpful knowledge, great. I said, but between the multiple jobs that we have and the companies that we're growing and what it is that we're doing individually for our bodies, just because we live together, I'm like, there's like, I just told you what, 3 different things that are happening that you didn't know about.
Nope. And again, I'm learning. I've learned to kind of go with the flow. I've always been one that I've been very introverted. I'm not ashamed of this. I like being in my own space and that's where I thrive. But there has to be a balance to everything. And so going into things that make me uncomfortable or into spaces that I'm not used to. And I've ended up finding that I've had amazing experiences with you and even just myself by doing these things. So I think that's very important.
Well, I think it's always better when you're with me too, like for me, when I'm out, like when I'm out visiting accounts, I wish that you could come with me because of all the places that I get to go eat, the new bar or restaurant that just opened up, or hey, there's this last minute event that's happening in downtown Detroit, or there's this art exhibit that I walk by in an alleyway and I go check it out and it's all mushroom themed. I'm like, oh my God, it was made for me.
Well, and to be honest, for me, I look at a computer damn near all day, so it's like, yes, tell me about the outside world because I've been stuck in my own world.
What's going on out there?
The light is blinding. So yeah, I think that's what I love is you definitely bring out the adventure side of things more so, I think, and I really try to not to brag, but I'm very much more of the romantic side of things. I like letters and notes
Yeah, you
and
do, baby.
poetry and things of that nature, and I think that's where I thrive. And again, it's writing. I
Yeah.
like I've spent a lot of my youth and my time in my head,
Hmm.
and so being able to express that and channel that, I think is a blessing that I get to have now, and being more into that. And so from our relationship and just for me, it's one thing that I love.
Yeah, it's definitely it's impacted our relationship positively because you're just more vocal, like you're more in tune with your more in tune with your thoughts and ideas because you're getting them out, you're writing. I mean, like I said, your LinkedIn posts that you do are incredible and they're very impactful and helpful for, I think, anybody that reads them.
Well, for me, it was if one person benefits from it, I'm happy with that. It was really more so these are things that I've either read about, applied in my own life, and I found dramatic benefit from them. So if I can express that through words, and then if someone else can apply that and find benefit, the more to them. That's the whole goal behind it for me. So it's definitely been something I love to channel, and I think everybody has something within them to give to this world, and you just need to follow it's that gut intuition. And what are you really into? Like I was talking with a buddy of ours, Mike, and I was like, you spent so much of your life in a job that you didn't love, it didn't give much back to you, brought a lot of stress and anger and different things, and you're wasting life because this life is very short. We're here for a blink of an eye. And he ended up losing that job. And I said, take a risk because you did the thing that was safe and you lost it. And so what's the point of going into another safe career?
Quote unquote.
Exactly. So he's looking into like card trading and different things.
I know. I'm excited for him and all of his cards and Funko Pop and
he's
all
a
that.
big collector. So I'm happy to see that change within him. And it brings, again, if you're following your true passions and what you love to talk about and love to like your hobbies and different things, it's not going to be work, it's going to be play.
Yeah.
And that's what I've started to realize as I'm doing the writing and the posts and stuff. I'm just talking about things that I love doing. It's not like I'm forcing it or I'm trying to have this perfect script or this perfect art. Like, no, this is just things that I've done and I like.
Yeah. And same with me. That's one thing I love. I love meeting new people. I get to meet strangers every single day. And that's exciting. For some people, they'd be like, oh my God, I like my small circle of friends. I'm like, well, I do too. But every day I get to go exploring. I'm an adventurer in Detroit. So that's why I love, snapping pictures and, buying sandwiches, eating half and then bringing it home and then buying, some stuff that we can put up in the air fryer later.
There's no lack of food in our house, that's for sure. No.
But yeah, it's the adventure. It's I love it. I do. I really do.
And I think that's what's important. And so whatever you're trying to do for anybody listening is do things that are, there was this amazing idea that Alan Watts had. Like if you go on vacation and you have this itinerary of everything that you want to do, sometimes it becomes structured and it can actually be detrimental. Take some times where like you're just pick a direction.
Yep.
Like you're going to go to Detroit, just go to Detroit and then figure out where you're going to go from there. Don't even plan it out.
Yeah.
And you're going to find that amazing things happen along the way.
Oh, I can attest to that almost
Mm.
every single week. Every week I pick a city. I'm like, I feel like going to Ferndale today.
Mhm.
So that was yesterday. And I knew I definitely wanted to go to Tall Trees Cafe and go visit Mike and Courtney. Courtney wasn't there, but that's okay. I got to meet Mike, which was cool. Got to have one of his fabulous sandwiches. Check out their new spot. Awesome.
Oh, those sandwiches were killer.
And then I asked Mike, I said, where should I go? I said, it's not dinner time or, happy hour time. Where should I go? So he told me a couple spots, and then I just drove and parked and started walking around and, you know, got some really good deals, some new accounts. And then I met some guys that were sitting at the bar in Ferndale at Sidecar, and his name is Curtis. He goes by Chocolate, and he owns like 4 or 5 restaurants in downtown Detroit.
Mm.
Gave him my card. So I'm always I'm magnetic, because what I'm doing is I'm passionate and I love what I do. I love what I'm talking about. I believe in what it is that I have, and everybody else is on board too. They're looking for what I've got.
Well, and we are energy. So
Mhm.
as you change your state, this is like
Yeah.
when I'm talking about priming your morning and you're setting up your day for success, you're putting out a specific energy to where you're going to
Mhm.
attract those like-minded people and that energy back to you.
Yep.
This sounds kind of far-fetched. If you've ever been in a room with somebody that
Ooh, the woo-woo.
the woo-woo, where like you're talking to somebody and like you don't know why, but you gravitate towards this person. Like there's something there's something that you can't see, but
Yeah.
you can feel it.
Mhm.
You're pulling on their energy and you both are connecting in a different
Yeah.
way. And that's what you're doing. And you're attracting into the ether of different
Mhm.
people and different experiences and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's very important.
Yeah, there was like a Federico and Pietro at the wine tasting for my company, Mrs. Vino. Federico, I get to see every year. And then Pietro, he was from Umbria, and him and I were just talking about Jacopo. He knows Jacopo.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Jacopo.
I know. I know you do. You and
This
Jacopo.
Italian winemaker. We did the event at
Nico Vivalli.
Valley, and he
Yeah,
came and he talked
the
about his
wine
different
dinner.
wines. Kristen hosted it, and I swear to God, like it ended up me and him just talking about.
I know it was
stuff.
just you two talk. Like when he'd stand up and do his thing,
Yep.
and then he sat down next to you, and it was just you two talking the whole
Well, he
time.
told me, he's like, I don't tell this to many people, but you guys can stay with me. Like I want to, he's like, I'm like, dude, I'll come over.
Yeah. So in the vines with Mrs. Vino, these are the global travel tours that you and I have been working on planning and getting set up. And the first one is going to be in Umbria. So, and it's going to be at Scaccia d'Avola for sure, for at least 2 nights or however long Jacopo will have us there. And then I'm going to find out who his buddies are, who his friends are, and say, where else should I take a group of, like 12 people? But I want the intimate experience because, we've established a friendship with him, and having those personal stories and the personal connections. And I know his wines, I had him on my wine list. And, that's kind of where this travel, this tour is, where it begins, is my personal relationships with these individuals that I've supported, done wine tastings or wine dinners with. Yeah.
That's what you're good at, babe.
Yeah, thanks.
And I think, whatever you're going to apply and do as a couple, again, everybody should be growing and improving in some way, shape, or form individually. And we kind of talked about this in the last episode, but there has to be co-work done together as a couple, but then you need to do the individual work. If you are having trauma or stress or different things in your life and you're not processing them, this comes down for men, especially journaling, getting things out of here and on in something physical and processing these things. I'm a huge I walk a lot and I do a lot of like my audiobooks and stuff. When I do that, every day I walk, but sometimes I won't listen to any audiobook. I'll just have either music or nothing at all. And I'll ruminate and think about things that I need to process or do. And it sets up, again, more of a planning, and it gets just things working where they're not stuck in my head and I'm not ruminating on these things in a negative way, but I'm growing in trying to improve and trying to do better. So
yeah, I know. I'm proud of you.
You too, baby.
You do a lot of self-reflection and work on yourself, just in the way that you find is best for you. And then same with me. I have my journaling in the morning,
Mhm.
picking one of the many books that I'm reading at one time. And then for me, my sauna meditations, I mean, I look like some type of shaman walking in there with all my beads and my EMF blocker and my little flask full of essential oils and all my creams and weird stuff on.
It's weird because I think people need to double down on weird. The weird things are actually what make
Oh,
you
I like
you.
the word weird. I
Mhm,
know I am.
mhm.
I said because I know I inspire people because you're like, hey, what are you listening to? Because like you took your headphones off. I'm like, oh, it's just like it's like Akashic Records
Yep,
transmuting energy. And they're like, what is that? And I'm like, do you want to go down the rabbit hole with me?
yep. Well, and I think that's another thing. Everyone, I don't care who you are, you should be reading in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes, it doesn't have to be just self-help books. It could be, for me, like I'm a huge fiction reader, fantasy reader. I like getting into different worlds, different roles, and different perspectives of lives that I'm not going to necessarily live myself, but I'm learning from the lessons. And maybe would I make that same decision as this character, or would I do this as this character? But
Mm,
also just pick up a book, give it a like maybe 20, 30 pages. If it doesn't feel right, go to the next one. But you'll find
mm-hmm.
something where, and this is a really cool tool that I found, is in any book, it's meant to get worn and used, highlight, write.
Yes.
You need to process instead of letting it go into the void of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's, if it's going to stick into your head of these lessons that you're going to learn, you need to get into them. So reading is very important. You should always be reading. And the cool thing with reading too is you read something that is profound, maybe beneficial, share it with somebody else that you think maybe will
Yeah.
learn a lesson from it or gain something from it. And also go back to reading of books you've already read. The
Mm-hmm.
state of the person that you were when you read that first book,
Mm-hmm.
you're not the same person again down the road, and you might find
Yeah.
different values and lessons down the road from it as
I
well.
just started rereading. I started reading again. You're a Badass by
Mhm.
Jen Sinceo, and I remember I read that when I was in the cybersecurity world and custom software programming, and I remember reading that when I was with Netlink,
Mhm.
and Lear was my number one client.
Yep.
Lear. And it was huge. So it was a lot of pressure being a female in the IT industry. So I read that book and now I'm reading it in a totally different era and time.
Mhm.
So I'm excited. Good idea. Thank you.
So to wrap up, everyone, as if you're in a relationship, if you're looking for a relationship, be adventurous, make eye contact, touch as much as you can, and also pray, meditate, journal. We even have like you bought this book as a couples journal
Yeah.
basically, but it gives topics of different questions, and you both get to write it. So we'll do that almost every night,
Yeah.
and something fun like that. Again, getting out of that space, opening up the time for conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and this is also maybe because we're part of a different generation, but like when you're going, especially out to eat somewhere, don't have your phone on the table. Be with the person you're with.
Be present.
Exactly. Because
Enjoy the food. That's my biggest thing is being a foodie and a sommelier.
Mhm.
I think all your money at the end of the day should go towards food and really good wine and just living in that present moment, savoring each bite, each sip of that wine, all of it, the people, the sounds, the lighting, the mood, playing footsie under the table, maybe getting in some other trouble.
Always. Again, being spontaneous, being present, being connected. And I'd be curious to see if anybody watching comments some places you guys have gone to in Detroit that we didn't mention that you definitely love to go to. It doesn't even have to be Detroit, even the metro area, whatever you guys find.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're always looking for new places to not only for work for Little Saints and Mrs. Vino, but just for experiences.
Yeah.
And also any practices that you find that you are beneficial within your marriage. I'm always curious to see what others find has made them grow and improve upon. And because this is the key thing, a lot of people that struggle with relationships after a certain point, you have the lovey-dovey phase and, the
Mm-hmm.
romantic side of things, it kind of falls through because you're not advancing. And I always hear a lot of comments of, we're trying to get back to that spark or get back to that point. You're not meant to go back. You're meant to
No.
improve and grow.
There's so many experiences and more knowledge and achievements that you have under your belt because it comes with time. That's something
Mhm.
again, that's a lack mentality.
Yep.
You're looking at what you don't have and what you used to have. Why don't you look at what you have right now?
When
Again, present moment. It
and
all
you-
comes down to the present moment,
and
people.
you also aren't the same people you were when you first met each other.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing. I mean, 15 years together, we've constantly had ups and downs, and for me, especially as the from the male perspective, it was getting out of the space of like being with you and then understanding that I wanted to become more with you and like to give you more and to be more like it's a yin and yang kind of balance where it's not just the self. So
Hmm.
we're very selfish creatures by nature, so breaking out of that and realizing it's not always about me, what is the best thing for her, and then same thing with her to me. We
Mhm.
both benefit and yet we're both growing at the same time. So
Yeah. I
just
love
so-
that.
so like I said, please comment, let us know what you think, and next episode we'll be talking probably more about different relationships, different places we've been, and we'd love to see you there.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks everyone. Happy 313 day.
313.
Detroit.